He's a real-life Spider-Man. Traffic came to a standstill in Manhattan last week when Frenchman Alain climbed the 52-story New York Times headquarters with no rope, no harness, just pure grit. A professional climber, Robert says he has scaled more than 80 buildings across the globe. And here in the Big Apple, he has now been charged with reckless endangerment, criminal trespass, and disorderly conduct, and is out on bail. Alain's manager is Julie Cohen. Alain, Julie, good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
All right, a lot of questions here. A lot of people think, why? You describe actually climbing is my passion, my philosophy of life on your website. What is it about scaling skyscrapers that makes you so passionate?
This is something a bit different, but most of all, now since nearly a year, I have decided to fight on global warming. And that's the reason why I have decided to climb the New York Times building.
Yeah, this climb was different than others because the other times you did it perhaps just for the thrill of it. This time you did it with a message. Tell us about this organization and why it's so important to you.
In fact, actually global warming is killing more people every week than 9/11, so which is a big amount of people. And look at the weather today. Once again, it's going to be a record, above nearly 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So actually, the global warming is killing, and the government are not doing that much on that matter. So that's why I have decided that I was having to give a little bit of my time to fight on global warming.
A little bit of your time. Why don't you use protection? Why don't you use harnesses? I mean, that's got to be pretty scary, right?
No,
what are you feeling when you're climbing up that building?
No, the thing is, from the beginning, I did start to climb year 1975, and I have nearly always climbed the same way, meaning not using any safety devices.
Julie, you've been with Alain for a while. You were down below. You recorded some of his preparations the day before. What does it take to get something like this together?
It takes quite a bit of preparation, and mostly because we want to be very careful so that he's not putting anyone ever in danger, and we have to do our research and find out.
And speaking of that, I mean, obviously we numbered, or we listed the number of charges you're facing right now, and a lot of people are saying, this was just not just unsafe for you, but unsafe for everyone on the ground below.
It's not the truth, Climbing the New York Times, it's climbing a ladder. This, I told already everything to the media.
So you had no reason to believe at all you could fall?
I am having some world record, meaning that I did the hardest route free solo on the planet. So you think that by climbing a ladder, I endanger people? I don't think so.
Well, I mean, what are you expecting to say in court? You're back in court on Wednesday facing these charges. What are you anticipating?
This is my lawyer, who is going to defend me. He's an expert. First of all, okay, they are charging me for criminal trespass. Trespassing is entering inside the property, so there is no criminal trespass. But disorderly conduct, I did the best I could do, meaning that I did climb at 11 o'clock, which there was not much traffic, instead of climbing during the rush hour.
I want to speak a little bit about the message. You talked about the sign you unfurled, and it said, global warming kills more people each day than 9/11. Did you at all anticipate just how sensitive that is here in the New York area and how upset some people were at seeing that sign at all? And was there a better way to get that message out than scaling up this building?
No, I'm going to tell you why. It's because, I feel so sad, about what's happened in New York 7 years ago. I pay a lot of respect to the victims, to the people who have lost husband or daughter and so on. But the thing is, to emphasize how important is the fight on global warming, I needed to have a very strong message.
Well, you certainly got that message out loud and clear. Alain, Julie, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.